With NFL free agency winding down, it's time to take a look at some of the top draft options for the Dallas Cowboys with the 12th overall pick. This is mostly my personal evaluation of these players, but I've also factored in how I believe the Cowboys might view them based on their historical tendencies when it comes to drafting. First off, let's set some expectations. I'm not assuming any trade-ups, which means there is absolutely zero chance that Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter will be available. Even if some off-field scandal leaked, those guys are simply out of reach for Dallas at 12. After those two, though, the draft board becomes much more unpredictable. There's no real consensus beyond them, and the 2025 draft class is particularly strange. It lacks a clear-cut group of elite talents, which means teams will be taking players in the top 5 who might be more suited for the top 10, or top 10 guys who might typically be top 15 picks. There's going to be a lot of variation in how teams rank these prospects, which could lead to some surprising selections. One team's second-best edge rusher might be another team's fifth best, with a gap of 20 picks between them. That kind of disparity could create unexpected slides and reaches. From my perspective, there's one standout player who I don't think will make it to 12, but this draft could get weird. If something crazy happens and he does slide, it would be an absolute steal for Dallas. In general, this class has fewer first-round grades than usual, and my personal board reflects that. I have fewer than 15 true first-round grades, with a couple of borderline cases that could shift depending on final athletic testing. Even my first to second-round cheater grades are lower than normal, which is why Cowboys fans should be hoping that quarterbacks fly off the board early. The more QBs taken ahead of Dallas, the better. Ideally, Cam Ward and Shadur Sanders get picked quickly, and maybe some team makes a wild move for someone like Jackson Dart, though I doubt that happens. When it comes to actual draft targets, there's a clear number 1 on my board, Michigan defensive tackle Mason Graham. I don't care if people think I'm crazy. This guy is an absolute monster. Frankly, I would be shocked if he fell out of the top 10, and I don't think he should get past Jacksonville at number 5 unless something truly bizarre happens. Maybe if 3 quarterbacks go in the top 3, which would be great for the Cowboys. I get that his arm length isn't ideal, but he reminds me a lot of Christian Wilkins. He's not necessarily going to be a double-digit sack guy every year, but he's an elite run defender who can generate interior pressure and play on all 3 downs. His pressure rates are excellent, and Wilkins also had a slow start to his sack numbers before breaking out. This is a top 5 player in my book, and if he somehow makes it to 12, Dallas should sprint to the podium. The second best option for Dallas, and where some debate might arise, is Arizona wide receiver Teteroa McMillan. For me, given the Cowboys' needs, he's the perfect blend of talent, impact, and positional fit. On my overall big board, I actually have Ashton Janney ranked slightly higher than McMillan, but for the Cowboys specifically, the positional need flips the order. McMillan has had great production, and while there's some debate about his true speed, his pro day had him at 4.48, but I suspect he's more of a mid 4.5s guy. He still gives me strong T. Higgins vibes. He's got the big frame, he can play both inside and outside, and he would instantly solidify the WR2 spot opposite CD Lamb. If he's there at 12, the Cowboys should be thrilled. That said, I would have no issue with taking Ashton Janney at number 12 either. He fills a major need and could be a game changer at running back. If this were a team like the Bears, I'd probably rank Janney above McMillan, but for Dallas, the positional value leans toward the receiver. Still, Janney is an incredible talent. NFL.com compared him to LaDainian Tomlinson, which is a ridiculously fun comp. He fits any scheme, and the numbers back it up. He had more yards after contact this past season than any other running back had total rushing yards. Almost 2,000 yards after contact. That's absurd. I expect at least one of McMillan or Janney to be gone by the time Dallas picks. But if both are somehow available, it would be a tough choice. After those two, there's a noticeable gap in talent. The next group includes guys like Penn State tight end Tyler Warren, who I absolutely love as a player. This would be more of a luxury pick, but he's an outstanding talent. The transition to the NFL for tight ends can be tricky, but Warren reminds me of early career Jason Witten or Greg Olsen. He's got high football IQ, he's great after the catch, and Penn State even used him in a wildcat package, which could be a fun extra wrinkle for short yardage situations. Another potential target is Michigan cornerback Will Johnson. From the moment he stepped on the field in college, he's been an elite cover guy. He did miss time this year with injuries, but assuming he checks out medically, he's a no-brainer top-tier corner. He's a bit of a gambler, but the playmaking ability is there. 2 pick sixes in just half a season of play. He gives me Xavier Howard vibes. Not a burner, but a ball hawk who can develop into a true CB1 at the next level. One move I'd absolutely consider is trading down. In general, I love moving back in draft. More picks mean more opportunities to hit, especially in a draft as unpredictable as this one. But trading down requires a willing partner, and I'm not sure that's going to happen in this class. Last year, Dallas got lucky when Detroit overpaid to move up. If there's a trade market, moving down a few spots, say to 14 or 15, could net a 4th rounder. Dropping to 17 could bring in a 3rd, and moving into the 20s might even get them an extra 2nd-round pick. Another name I love, even though I doubt Dallas does, is Texas cornerback Jody Barron. I've been high on him since before the draft hype started, and he's the perfect replacement for Jordan Lewis. He can play outside, in the slot, or even safety. He's a playmaker, a great tackler, and has the ball skills Dallas needs. The problem? His arm length is below the Cowboys' usual thresholds, and historically, they don't draft guys who don't fit their measurables. I'd love for them to make an exception, but I have my doubts. Offensive line is another area to watch. The Cowboys may not be ready to give up on Tyler Guyton, but if the right player is available, they should at least consider it. Depending on how the draft falls, that could mean someone like Armin Moo, Will Campbell, or Kelvin Banks. However, his arm length does not meet the Cowboys' usual draft thresholds, which could make them hesitant to select him at number 12. Even though he has all the traits of a playmaker, Dallas has historically shown a reluctance to draft cornerbacks with shorter arms, no matter how productive they were in college. If they were to make an exception for Barron, it would signal a shift in their drafting philosophy, prioritizing talent and versatility over strict measurables. Another potential direction for the Cowboys is reinforcing the offensive line. Although they selected Tyler Guyton in last year's draft, adding another top-tier offensive lineman could still be on the table. The best available lineman at that spot could be someone like Armin Pugh or Will Campbell, both of whom have first-round grades. Campbell's short arms might make him a better fit as an interior lineman rather than a tackle, while Pugh has the versatility to play multiple positions. Kelvin Banks is another intriguing name, but he might be better suited as a guard, which may not match what the Cowboys are looking for with their first-round pick. Given that offensive line play is one of the most critical factors in a team's success, it would not be shocking if Dallas decided to go this route and invest in protecting their quarterback and establishing a dominant running game. If they prefer to focus on offensive firepower, wide receiver remains a glaring need. If McMillan is off the board, Dallas could pivot to other receiving options such as Luther Burden, Matthew Golden, or Emeka Egbuka. Burden, in particular, was expected to take a bigger leap last season, but was held back by inconsistent quarterback play. Despite that, his raw athleticism and ability to make plays after the catch make him an intriguing option. Golden had a strong finish to his college career and has tested well athletically, while Egbuka is viewed as one of the most reliable pass catchers in this class. The question for Dallas is whether any of these players are worth taking at number 12, or if it would be wiser to trade down and acquire additional picks before selecting one later in the first round. On the defensive line, there are several high-upside prospects who could be in consideration. Mike Green is one of the most talented defensive linemen in this class, but his character concerns could make teams hesitant to invest a top 15 pick in him. Shamar Stewart is another freak athlete who has all the physical tools but was underutilized in college, raising questions about his ability to make an immediate impact in the NFL. Jalen Walker brings versatility to the table, but there is uncertainty about whether he is best suited as an edge rusher or an outside linebacker. Kenneth Grant, a powerful interior lineman, could be a strong addition to Dallas's defensive front, though selecting him at number 12 might be considered a reach. Walter Nolan is another name that has generated buzz, but his inconsistency throughout his college career has raised concerns about his long-term development. If Dallas decides to prioritize its defensive line with this pick, it will likely come down to choosing between a high-floor player like Grant or rolling the dice on an elite athlete like Stewart. For those hoping the Cowboys will finally invest in a safety, the reality is that it is unlikely to happen in the first round. Dallas has a long history of devaluing the safety position, and despite Malachi Starks testing extremely well, it is hard to imagine them breaking their trend. If they were to go this route, it would indicate a major philosophical shift in their approach to roster building. Another potential trade-down candidate is linebacker Gabe Campbell. But with the Cowboys already having a solid linebacker group, the need for another player at the position may not be pressing enough to justify a first-round selection. Beyond the first round, the Cowboys will need to make strategic decisions based on how the board falls. If they pass on a receiver at 12, they might find value in the second or third round. If they prioritize defense early, they could use later picks to shore up their offensive line depth. The draft is always unpredictable, and while Dallas has historically followed certain patterns, there's always the chance they deviate based on how things unfold. Ultimately, the Cowboys are in a fascinating position at number 12. They have a variety of directions they could take, each with its own risks and rewards. Whether they choose to strengthen their defensive front, add a dynamic offensive weapon, or trade down for additional picks, their decision will have a lasting impact on the team's future. With so many talented prospects on the board, it will be interesting to see how they approach this critical selection and whether they stay put or make a move to reshape their roster. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Dallas Cowboys. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. Could Joe Burrow, one of the NFL's brightest stars, be heading to the Dallas Cowboys? It's a question that has captivated fans and analysts alike in recent days, with whispers of the Bengals quarterback potentially making the switch to America's team. Known for his calm under pressure and remarkable ability to perform in critical moments, Burrow's potential move would shake the very foundation of the NFL, igniting a firestorm of speculation and excitement. Burrow, who signed the largest annual contract in NFL history with the Bengals in 2023, has been nothing short of spectacular since entering the league. From leading Cincinnati to Super Bowl 56 to solidifying his status as one of the game's elite quarterbacks, his talents are undeniable. His leadership, highlighted by his heroic performance in the 2024 season despite setbacks, proves he's built for the brightest lights. Yet, the idea of him wearing the Cowboys' iconic star on his helmet presents a tantalizing possibility, pairing his cool composure with the Cowboys' already potent roster. But could this dream scenario become reality? While rumors swirl and Dallas fans dream of a future with Burrow at the helm, there are obstacles ahead. With Burrow's massive contract extension and Cincinnati's current commitment to him, the path to Dallas isn't straightforward. However, in the unpredictable world of the NFL, anything is possible. The Cowboys' aggressive approach to building a championship-caliber team might just lead to a bold move that changes the league's landscape forever. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Dallas Cowboys, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. We always look forward to your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.